We welcome Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville. And I want to say about Mr. Tuberville, he was the head football coach at 4 different major universities spanning 22 years. We're talking about Auburn, Ole Miss, Texas Tech, and Cincinnati. And folks, here's the key. That means he was a teacher and a mentor to literally thousands of students down through the years. And I think that's a very important point nowadays with all this craziness in the Ivy League elites or wherever. So, Senator Tuberville, Happy New Year. Welcome back to the show. You've had all this long time experience in major big universities, most of them bigger than these Ivy schools, I think. What do you make of this whole story as you watch it unfold?
Well, this has been unfolding for years, Larry. It's one of the reasons I'm a senator. When I retired from coaching back 6-7 years ago, I knew that we were having problems in education, but it's just not in the dean area or the professors or some of the students or some of the policies that are being pushed. It's been pushed by a lot of administrations, and you're starting to see that now, especially in the Ivy League, but it goes all over the country. It's not just in the Ivy League. It is indoctrination and a lot of different things that our kids are getting in this wokeism, that I guess that we call it. But it's just, it's about racism. At the end of the day, Larry, when I coached, I had all kind of kids on my team from all religions, colors, races, making a difference. But it's about being colorblind. Do not look at color. This country is being pushed towards looking at different colors. But if we're going to survive through education, through anything that we do, if we don't start looking through the lens of being colorblind, not looking at any color, look at Americans. And if we don't do that, this country's not going to make it.
You know, on that point, Senator, on that point, I mean, these non-apologies, I'm going to take Harvard, for example. Claudine Gay said racial animus was the problem, okay? Again, blaming race. The Harvard board, whatever it's called, corporation, called it racist vitriol. That just misses the whole point about anti-Semitism and plagiarism and, you know, the destructive nature of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which are just watchwords for more racism. And, you know, Alan Dershowitz was on last night talking about how they want to make oppressors versus the oppressed. That's just nonsense. That's not the way the world works. You coach thousands of kids. I mean, those kids probably came into your office thousands and thousands of times to talk about stuff. Did it fall back on social justice and racism, or were they more serious about this? Or let me ask you, maybe you felt some pressures at these big universities you worked at.
No, Larry, what happens in sports, and it's the way it should be in our country, it's about merit. I didn't care who played on our football team. I was paid to win games. And if you're black or white, if you're Catholic, Protestant, Jewish, it make me a difference. We're going to play the best. And people are going to have to start understanding that in our country. We're the same way as a sports program. United States of America, you get what you put into it. Same thing in everything, whether it's a business, whether it's politics. If you work hard, you get more out of it. Don't wait for somebody to give you something. That's what's starting to happen in this country. People are sitting back wanting something given to them. You know, we've had racism in this country, but it's been racism for color, race, religion, as I said earlier. There's been some, but racism, Larry, is an attitude. It's an attitude. And that's what's being pushed on the American people right now. It's an attitude of racism to try to divide all of us. And if we don't understand what's going on and understand what the Democratic Party is trying to do, this country won't make it. We can't be a divided country. We're only 330 million people, and we've got to stand up for ourselves, but we've got to stand up for our Constitution.
Do you think, just the last question, I got a couple other things for you, Senator, but as you look at this thing, it seems to me, I mean, people want Harvard to change, people want MIT to change, UPenn to change, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't seem like they want to change. It just doesn't seem like it. It seems like they're hiding behind the bureaucracy and a lot of bureaucratic language, but nothing's really changed. Claudine Gay may be gone, but the next person from the bench may be just as bad or worse, and the people that hired her, the corporation board, they're still there. I mean, I think that's debilitating, it's sad. I think that's a depressing thought. This is supposed to be a great university? I don't know. It's not so great. Not going to change. So why should it be so great?
Well, it starts with your leadership, and the leadership for these universities or the board of trustees. They have to hold people accountable, Larry. And if they don't hold people accountable, it's like, the MIT, Penn. Again, I could go on and on with people across this country that are pushing all the wokeism because I've been there. I've seen it. But it all starts with the people that put the plan together to run the university. How can they make the most money? And so they push this agenda out there, and they're starting to see that, hey, this might sell better than anything else. And so we've got to get control of that. We got to get people have to be held accountable. But it goes past these presidents. It all goes all the way up to the board of trustee members that are pushing this agenda because they're the ones that goes out and raise the money to keep these universities open.
Yeah, it's the way I read it too, Senator. Your record with all these colleges is quite remarkable. Let me go to some other things about accountability. Joe Biden yesterday announced that they're going to have more student loan cancellations, despite the fact that the Supreme Court has already said you do not have the power to do that without some kind of congressional appropriation. So it's like, there he goes again. He's breaking the law, Senator Tuberville. What's happening here?
Well, Joe Biden could care less, Larry, about our Constitution. He's been breaking the law from day one. He's been spending our taxpayer dollars on abortion. He's been ignoring our immigration laws, which we're, for some reason, negotiating with the Democrats to put more laws in there. They're not going to go by them anyway. He spent, as you just said, over $500 billion on student loan giveaways, and he said today he's going to continue to do more, which the Supreme Court said he couldn't do. We saw Obama do this, Larry. He did it through a pen and a phone. He knew he couldn't get anything through Congress. Joe Biden's doing the same thing. The Democrats are not going to hold him accountable, so the voters this fall have to hold Joe Biden accountable for what he's breaking, how he's breaking the law. Including, I assume, the border. The borders, it's embarrassing, Larry, but it's not going to be fixed. The Democrats are acting like, we're negotiating with the Republicans. They're actually holding the American taxpayer hostage because they want $100 billion to be sent overseas to be stolen and spent. But they're holding the American taxpayer hostage. If you don't give us that $100 billion, taxpayers, we're not going to stop the immigration. We're not going to keep people from coming across. We're not going to go by the immigration laws. It is embarrassing what's going on in this clown show in D.C.
Last one, Senator Tuberville. Help is on the way. A lot of new endorsements for Donald Trump, who is the front runner. Steve Scalise, this is from the House, of course. Steve Scalise, the Majority Leader, Tom Emmer, the Whip, Senator Tom Cotton. Of course, Elise Stefanik led the way. You've endorsed Trump. It just seems like the entire GOP now is getting behind Donald Trump.